Hi everyone. On this video, I'll going to explain MCA lab program number, lab cycle program number 1A. Okay. Yeah. Since you people studied about constructor in your previous semester C++, I think you people will not find difficult to understand this particular program. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So lab program only. That is write a Java program to demonstrate. Write a Java program to demonstrate constructor overloading and method overloading. Okay, first we have to understand what is this method overloading and constructor overloading. Okay, so method overloading, the definition of method overloading is if two or more functions having a same name but different signature. Signature in the sense either it may be what data type or number of parameters. If two or more functions, assume there is a function with name out add, so two or more functions having same name but different signature. Here the signature is a data type. So if there are two functions within same class with add int a and add float a, so how compiler is going to differentiate? If you pass an integer value, compiler is going to execute this one. If you pass a floating point value, compiler is going to execute what second one. Okay, so this type of functions is called as what method overloading. Same name but different signature. Either it may be data type or it may be what number of parameters. So if you consider this particular example, this particular example, in example number 1, so this one is also called as method overloading because same name, function having got same name, but here number of parameters are different. So how compiler is going to differentiate this one? If you pass a 2 value, compiler is going to execute this one. If you pass a 3 integer value, compiler is going to execute what second one. Okay, so here number of parameters, here data type is what different. So depending on that one, compiler is going to execute corresponding functions even though function is having what same name. Such a function is called as what method overloading. Two or more functions same name but different signature is called as what method overloading. In the same way, constructor overloading means constructor with different parameters. Okay, I think you people studied about constructor in your C++. So let's see what your lab cycle program. Okay, so yeah, so we have to include both constructor overloading as well as what method overloading. So constructor, this one is your lab program. So we have a class with name OTA with the two data members x and what y, and there's a one constructor. We'll call this one as a default constructor, just a constructor. Okay, so why, and this one is called as what special member function. So why it is called as what constructor? Because same name as the default class, no return type, not even word. Okay, what's the use of a constructor? We use constructor to initialize our data members. Okay, so this here there's one constructor and within which we have a system.out.println to display a message. Whatever write within double quote, that will be displayed. Here we have written what just a default constructor, some message. Okay, the send off your constructor. So again we have taken one more special member function. Constructors are called as what special member functions. Here I'm passing what int a. Okay, so since two constructor only changes what with respect to parameters, that's why it is called as what constructor overloading. So this one is called as what parameterized constructor. Why it is called constructor? Same name as the default class. Again a no return type, not even word. Okay, so and in this particular case again we have system.out.println to print message. Just I'm printing a parameterized constructor with one argument. Okay, the send of what your second constructor. So we have got one more constructor. Why? Because same name as the default class, same thing, and here we are passing out two parameters. So these three having got same name but different parameters. That's why it is called as what constructor overloading. So again here also I'm printing what some message, and whatever value I'll get for I and j, I'm just assigning for what x as well as what y. So x and y are what data members. Okay, again we have got two more functions with name what add. Here I'm passing what int a and what int b. Okay, so just I'm adding what a and b value. I'm just printing that one. C is just a local variable. Okay, a and b are what parameters. So again we have one more add functions. We're going to take two floating point value, a as well as what b. Okay, so that will going to add and we're going to display that result here. Okay, so why it is called as what method overloading? It's a method overloading because same name but data types is what different. That's what is called as what It is called as what? Method overloading. In the same class A, we have defined a public static void main. Okay, so public static void main, I think you know why we are going to write public static. In the last video I have explained so all those things. Yeah, so here we are creating an object of type class A. So how to create an object? First you have to suppose write a class name, then object name, then you have to write what new operator. Once you use a new operator, what will going to happen? It will going to allocate what space. Okay, space for what? Data numbers. Okay, so there is a two data number x and y. For that it will going to allocate what space. So we'll get a space for what x, and we'll get a space for y with respect to what? A1. With respect to what? A1. Okay, yeah, and one more thing that will going to happen once you create an object is it will going to call what? Constructor. See, this one is called as what? Constructor calling. Class name, object name, new operator, then constructor calling. So now constructor will be what? Executed. Observe here, I am calling a constructor without passing what? Any parameter. So which constructor will be what called? So constructor without any parameter, this one will be what called. Okay, and this will executed, will get the output default constructor. See, we got the output default constructor. Again, I'm creating what? One more object with name what? A2. Same thing with respect to that. With respect to A2, it will going to allocate space for x as well as for y, because those two are what? Data members. Once it finds what? New operator. Next I'm calling what? Constructor. This one is called constructor calling. See, observe here, I'm passing what? One parameter that is of type integer. So which constructor will be what called? This will be what called. Okay, so whatever value I'm going to pass 10, that will be copied to what? A. Okay, and you will get the message this one parameter is constructor with the one argument. So we will get the second output parameter is constructor with one argument. Okay, so again we have created one more object, same thing with respect to that one. So first it will going to allocate space for x as well as what? Y, x as well as what? Y. Okay, see, now once it finds new operator, it will going to allocate some space with respect to what? A3. Okay, now I'm calling what? Constructor. This one is called as what? Constructor calling. See, now I'm passing what? Two parameters, 20 as plus 30. So now which constructor will be what called? Constructor with what? Two parameters. This one will be what called. So I will get the value what? 20, and so j will get the value what? 30. So 20 and 30 will be copied here. 20 and 30. So that we are assigning for what? xy. So x and y will get the value how much? 20 and 30. Okay, yeah, after that so again before that there's a one system.out.println, and this will be out printed. What is that one? Parameter is constructed with two arguments. So we'll get the output parameter is constructed with two argument. Okay, so finally with respect to A1, I'm calling what? Add by passing what? 10 and what? 20. So add function will be what called. See, both 10 and 20 are what? Integer values. Even though we have a two add function, so how compiler going to differentiate? Because since we are passing two integer values, that is 10 and 20. 10 and 20 means both are integer values. Okay, so this function will be, first one will be what called. So what's the value of here? 10 and 20, that will be added, and that will be stored in what? C, and that will be what displayed. So we'll get the output as what? 30. RES is equal to 30. Okay, we'll get this particular output. Again, with respect to A2, I am calling what? Add one more time. Now I am passing 10.5 and 20.5. So better specify what f. If you don't specify f, it will take this one as what? Double. Okay, floating point, there is a double. It will take this one as what? Double, not float. Therefore, just specify this one is what? Float. Means we are passing two floating point values. So even though there's two add functions, the second one is taking two floating point values. This function will be what called. Okay, so A will get the value 10.5 to B will get the value 20.5. That will be added, and that will be stored in what? C, and that will be what? Displayed. So 10.5 and 20.5. So what is the output? Will get 31. 31 point. I think we'll get 31.0. Okay, this is the output you'll get. So if you have a system, if you don't have any software, just in the Google you just type to run on Java program. Okay, so there you'll get a tutorial point compiler. You just copy the program and you can run that particular program. So you'll get the output in this. default constructor, parameter is constructed with one argument, parameter is constructed with two argument, result is 30 and again 31.0 because the second one is what floating point. Okay, so this is what your lab program for first only. So even the function is having same name, so it will going to differentiate based on the data type of the parameter or number of what parameters. That one is called as what constructor overloading or method overloading. Okay, so just copy this program along with what output in your